Welcome to Foraging and Cooking with Kids. If you're foraging for food in the wild, be 100% sure that you pick the right kind. Use books and apps to make no mistakes. And kids, never eat anything out of the wild without asking your parents. In this video, we will show you what you can do with a spruce tree. There are a lot of different trees that are edible, or parts of the tree is edible. But on a spruce tree, everything is edible, and all spruce tree species. The spruce tree has lots of different species, for example, black, Serbian, weeping white, Norway, Black Hills, white spruce, and many more, around 40 species. To identify what kind of spruce tree you found can be really tricky. They are extremely similar to also fir trees. What is also edible? Still, be 100% sure what you forage. Our family tradition is to go up the mountains to cut our own Christmas tree every year.
You did it, dude! You're not scared, no.
Our winter here in Wyoming started pretty good. Lots of snow on the mountains, what we wished and prayed for. But it is not so easy to get a tree out of the forest. TJ is wearing some snowshoes to get the tree out of there. So instead going into the forest and just cut any tree open to show you how to collect some inner bark, I thought, why not using our Christmas tree and show you how to collect and use the inner bark in our snuggly warm home and not out in the cold mountains with the kids. First, I will show you how to collect inner bark if you are in a survival situation. Means you're out in the wild and you need food. And there is nothing around, just snow and trees. You open the tree up just a little bit, not all around. When you open it just a little bit, you are not hurting the tree. You just make him a little boo-boo. If you are cutting it all around, you are taking away the way to get the nutrition for the whole tree. So you just open it a teeny tiny bit and can peel the inner bark out. After you take the bark off, you can peel very carefully the inner bark out. How I said, it is a survival food. If you are in a situation of survival, you will be able to survive of the inner bark. The inner bark is the part of the tree what keeps it alive, where all the nutritions go through. It is packed full on vitamins and fiber. It is bitter and the kids don't really like it, but here I show you how to make flour out of it to bake with that even kids will like. So it is not a survival situation here, so I do not need to just cut a little square out. I can use the whole tree. One more time. After you're taking the bark off, the gray bark from the outside, you have the inner bark to see. And you peel this carefully out, and under the inner bark is the wood, the part we don't want. Yeah, I took all the bark off, and here I took all the inner bark off, how you can see the color difference. Now we let them out on a tray stay for 24 to 48 hours and let them dry, and put them right after into a coffee grinder.
Okay.
And then we will sift them through a flour mill. Spruce tree inner bark flour. Let me now show you what to do with the spruce needles. You are able to eat the spruce tips when they're super young in the springtime, just raw, fresh from the tree. I definitely will come back to that. But in the wintertime, we will use the needles to make tea. The tea will help to boost the immune system. It is packed on vitamin C and minerals to treat cold, cough, and fatigue. The kids love that tea, especially when you pack it nicely with honey. Let the tea sit for 10 minutes and enjoy. It tastes like forest. It's one of my favorite teas. And a good part of the tree we will feed to our friends' goats. Then we have just a little bit of a stamp left, the wood inside of the tree, and we will burn this. So, whole tree used.
Eat my food. Eat my food.
Alright, let's bake. Let's make a spruce tree in a bark bread. So we need around 20 spruce tips, 500 milliliter water, 20 gram active dry yeast, 1 tablespoon sugar, a half a teaspoon salt, 3 cups of bread flour, and 1 cup of spruce tree inner bark flour. First, we make a spruce tip tea. We combine the needles and the water and let it start boiling. When it starts boiling, you turn it off and you let it sit till it's lukewarm. Take the tips back out. Then we separate our water, 300 milliliter and 200 milliliter in an oven-proof dish. Then we combine our 300 milliliter spruce tip lukewarm tea with the yeast and 1 tablespoon of sugar. Mix it well and let it sit for 10 minutes. Our yeast bubbled all up. Now combine the flours and the half a teaspoon of salt. Mix it for 10 minutes. Then cover up the dough and let it rise for around 2 hours.
Thank you.
On a floured surface, take the dough out and knock the air out of the dough. And then roll it to a loaf to fit it in the loaf pan. The kids took already good care of it, that the loaf pan is nicely buttered. Now we let it sit again for 2 hours. Then we used the spruce tip tea and water the top of the bread loaf. And the rest goes in the oven on the bottom. Now we bake the bread on 400 Fahrenheit for 45 minutes. And in between we spray some water in to get the moisture up in the oven. Spruce tree flour bread. The kids eat them with honey, and we ate them as a side for our Lenten soup for New Year's Eve. If you eat it by itself, it has a slight bitter taste, but it tastes like forest, and I personally like that taste a lot. We hope we will see you next time with foraging and cooking with kids. Till then, stay healthy and happy.